As soon as Israel and the USA began their highly illegal war of aggression against Iran, legions of mindless partisan hacks came out of the woodwork to defend them. The exact same people who screeched about no new wars and Trump representing peace. Now they are applauding Trump after he started a war that has engulfed the entire region, with about 12 different countries being directly involved. What absolute frauds! None of these amoral hacks should be taken seriously ever again. All it took was for the pedo thought leader to attack Iran, and all of these so-called free thinkers turned into these retarded Bush-era neocons. Screeching about women's rights and freedom, screeching about promoting democracy. Utter brain rot. Yes, this will be so good for women's rights. One of the first things that happened in the war was a missile strike killing dozens of little girls in a school in Iran. And they call this a war of liberation. US interventionism in the Middle East has always inspired Islamist backlash and corroded women's rights. How many examples do you need? Syria, Iraq, Libya, Iran itself? Vicious foreign intervention always empowers Islamist extremists. We have seen this over and over again. And imagine thinking the pedos who run America and the child murderers who run Israel give a toss about women's rights. What an absolute joke. If they succeed, Iran will become a chaotic, failed state. That is their ultimate goal. They want Iran to be weak. They don't care what form of government it has, they just want the government to be weak. The goal is to pacify an opponent, not to deliver freedom or liberty or whatever other garbage you have been told. The armchair soldiers sit back, cheering for Trump's pointless wars. They would never dream of fighting in it. They are spineless, gutless losers who support aggressive military action, but expect unnamed others to actually die fighting it. If you endorse a war of aggression, you should be expected to fight in it. I think that is a reasonable standard. Yet none of these losers have any intention of dying, or even risking their well-being slightly. They all sit back, a long way from the action, cheering and applauding as other people die in their masses. It is shameful. These people would never dream of fighting in such a war, because deep down they know that all of this is just for Israel and to distract from the Epstein scandal. You would have to be subhumanly unintelligent to not recognise that. The New Zealand nationalists cheer for this, when this brazen attack on the rules-based order is enormously dangerous for New Zealand. Israel and the USA are attempting to create a brutal, might makes right environment. A world where the strong brutalise and conquer the weak. That is the world that they are creating. This is incredibly dangerous for a small, weak country like New Zealand. They are making the world an increasingly volatile and war-torn place that is incredibly dangerous for a country of our type. We will go back to being someone's colony if this continues. And these right-wing hacks are the same people who fearmonger about Muslim immigration, and then applaud as Trump starts a massive war that involves the entire Middle East. If you want a mass exodus of refugees, this is the fastest path towards that outcome. The sheer stupidity of it all. Complaining about Muslim immigration, and then attempting to make the Muslim world uninhabitable. And these troglodytes cannot even connect the dots. These people are cheering on a totally pointless war. They want your gas prices to soar, just so Netanyahu can sleep more soundly at night. They want to risk your friends and family members being sent to die in pointless wars, simply so the Epstein pedo scandal moves out of the headlines. In practice, that is what these disgusting warmongers support. Remember that. Trump has miscalculated badly. Iran is not like Venezuela. Iran is well armed and extremely motivated. They have pounded US military bases across the region into rubble. They have sent missiles into the heart of Israeli cities. They have harassed shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, holding the global economy hostage in the process. People often forget one simple fact. The outcome of a war is not decided by who can inflict the most losses. The outcome of a war is defined by who is willing to take the highest losses. And on that basis, Iran has one hell of an advantage. They fight for their self-determination and sovereignty. Their opponents fight for a pedophile elite and a deranged, barbaric, child-killing ethno-state. That is the reality. And that is why Iran has an advantage. Nobody wants to die for Israel, not even these warmongering idiots.